Welcome back to Business Help. In this video, I'm going to be going over the basics of Excel here. So this is the first screen you'll see when you open the application Excel. So there are different things here. We got a blank workbook and plenty of templates here. So if I click on this More section here, More templates, now it provides me a list of a bunch of templates that I can use. Now Excel has plenty here, but you can look at many different things, calendars, many other things. But for now, we're just going to use a blank workbook so we can explain Excel. So when you open up Excel here, it looks like there's a lot going on here, but it's real basic. And here's how we're going to break it down. So first, you got the tabs at the top. So you got Home tab, Insert tab, Page layout, and etc. here. As you can see, there's a lot of tabs. And then you also have groups within those tabs. You've got the clipboard, the font. These are all considered groups. You got the cells, editing. So you got your tabs, then you got your groups. So that's really the basics of working the top bar here is what some people call it here in Excel. So, and now once we get into the sheets here, some other terms that keep in mind here is we've got columns and we have rows. And where columns and rows intersect, we have a cell. So this cell here is named cell E15. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in here to make it. In the bottom right hand corner, you can use the zoom in or zoom out. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here to make it easier to see. And as well as columns and rows, you get cells. So cells here are going to show up. This one is now named E15. It's the intersection of the column and the intersection of the row. So now on cell E15, if I would type something, it would stay in cell E15. I'll go ahead and delete that by hitting the backspace, or you can click on it and hit the delete button. And at the bottom here, we have sheets. In sheet 1, this is our sheet, and we can add as many sheets as we want here. But sheet 1 here, and all these sheets represent a workbook. That is what here it is Excel. This is our workbook for this category. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And now we're going to get started here. Let's say you can do many things with Excel. Keep lists, do accounting, do formatting. There's many features here of Excel. But we're just going to start by using, let's say we're going to create a budget. So we're going to type 2020 budget. So as you can see, it's typed into cell A1. And now it's kind of runs into cell B1. But if I would to put information in here, like budget 2020 expense, let's say if I choose that, now it kind of cuts that off. Go ahead and undo that. So how do we get this to be in cell A1 and cell B1? So all we do here is we're going to highlight it. You can either hit the merge and center button, that is one option, or if you want to keep it in cell A1 and let it display, we're going to hit the wrap text button. That's going to let it wrap down. But we're going to use the merge and center, and I'm actually going to use a couple columns here. Merge and center. Okay, we got our 2020 budget. So now what happens if I wanted to make that a title here? Make it stand out more. We can go over here to our cell styles grouping here. I'm going to click the down arrow. I'm going to choose heading 1. That's going to be our title. So now that is all formatted there. And that is going to be our heading 1. So now let's say I want to choose, let me merge and center these. So now let's say I wanted to merge and center this whole row. Instead of clicking all the way down, I can just click this little square in the bottom right-hand corner of Excel, and I can just drag this down. Now it's going to merge and center all those, but I don't want those in this heading. I'm going to change their heading. I'm going to make it, let's choose a heading 3. So now those are all in heading 3. Let's select the last one real quick. Okay, so now I'm going to make office budget. I got my office budget here. So what am I going to include here? Now I can include revenue, anything I want here. So our office budget here, but wait, I don't have room to add a column here. So let's go ahead and go over how to insert room to insert a row. Let's insert a row. So you're going to click on the cell, right click, and it brings up this insert button. And click the insert. It's going to insert a row above. So now I'm going to use my Format Painter button, which is going to be up here. This is how I can copy this format to up here without doing anything. Now those cells are formatted. I'm also going to go over here and take this format. Let's format paint this. That's very easy to duplicate things and copy things to different parts of Excel. So now let's go over now I have room to add titles. So let's make this, let's make this our name or location. So now it's going to be our location. I'm going to go ahead and take these to make it look less confusing. I'm going to put those we're going to just go ahead and remove. We're going to put those as a normal. Now I got a location. What do you want to know? You're going to want to know the revenue, expenses, and a profit or loss. So those are the things you really want to know. But now this is kind of running over into my cell F here. So you can also go ahead and expand cells by just dragging at the top, or expand rows by just dragging right there as well. You can also click there to inform column width. I can set this to, let's say I want to make it 15. So now you can set it that way and manually make it so they're all equal. But we'll just go over here. So now first off, here in cell C3, I'm going to input something. Let's make it a $30,000. So now it's not in dollars. Why wouldn't I want it in dollars though? So we're going to go here. We're going to use here in the top, we're going to use our group called the number grouping here. So now here I can choose different formats. We got the accounting number format. We got the percentage number format. We also got the comma style format. So I'm going to choose accounting. So now it's going to put it in number format for me. It's going to put it nice and now it looks like a number. Okay, that looks more like a budget. So now I'm also going to go ahead and do, let's say, expenses here. Well, let's only have $20,000 in expenses. I'm going to apply the same format to that cell. You can also apply a format. So let's say I want all these to be like that. I can apply a format like that. So now all of these, when I do this, are going to equal. They are going to have a accounting number format on it. Now, how do I calculate my profit loss? Profit loss are going to be my revenue minus expenses for basic terms here. Let's use my revenue. I'm going to make a formula here. So instead of I can manually enter them like this. I can do 30,000 minus 20,000. I'll go into more. So now it shows a number like that. Why would that be? Well, maybe we don't have enough room there. So now we do. So it shows 10,000. And I already had the format. But let's say I don't want to do that. Let's say here, let's just start here a calculation. Let's hit the equal sign again. Now I can just click here on this C3, hit the minus sign, and click minus that one, and hit enter. Now it's going to give me my profit loss, and I don't have to manually type these numbers in. So my office now had a revenue of 30,000, expenses of 20,000, and a profit loss of 10,000. So now maybe I want to do a second one here. Let's do office, let's do warehouse, and let's do trucks. Just so we have 3 categories here, 3 locations. Let's say our warehouse budget is going to be, a little bigger. Let's make it 60,000. And their expenses were 45,000. Not 40, not 450,000, 45,000. So I did it again here. But now I can go ahead and click to edit a cell. You double click on the cell. So now I'm going to hit the backspace. I'm going to make it 45,000. So now I edited a cell. So now I could either do the same formula, do the equals, minus, or I can hit the delete button, delete this cell, and we're going to just drag it. So let's drag the formula down from below because we already had that formula there. And wow, it's going to give us the same answer. It's going to drag this formula, but now we're going to, instead of applying it to C3 minus D3, it's going to use C4 minus D4. So that's going to make that a lot easier. So now I can just drag that one down. And now we're going to use one more feature here. We're going to use the trucks, 80,000. And we're going to make we're only going to give them 50,000 here in expenses. So I'm going to drag the formula down one more time. So now how do I calculate? Hey, maybe I have let's see how I can calculate this total. We're going to go down here. And we're going to use the auto sum button. So that's going to be located here, or in the formula tab, you can click the auto sum button there as well. So we're going to start here and click the auto sum right there. So now it's going to hit the enter sign. Now it's going to auto sum the section for us. So now let's say maybe I'll add add location here. Let's add home offices. Maybe we have some people that work from home. They're going to only have a revenue of 10,000 and going to have expenses of, let's say, 40,000. So now what is this formula going to do? Let's drag it down. Oh, it's going to be a negative here, but in the counting format, negative will show up as parentheses around the numbers here, like so. So now, but wait, my number already changed on here. Since I already had the auto sum for this whole section, once I change this number, it affects this number as well. So that makes it a lot easier. Hey, I don't have to go in here and then recalculate this formula. It just makes it much simpler there. So now I'm going to do a simple cell style here. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to use our cell styles here. So let's say these are all going to be good. We're going to go up here and click on the good. Now it'll show us good. Now obviously if we lose more on that, what's going to be bad? So we're going to select that as bad. So you can use your cell styles here for many different things. So I can go ahead and reshade all that. So now I can easily look at my budget here and say, oh, this is where I've made money. This is where I've lost money. So hopefully this helps have a basic understanding of Excel. We're going to cover one more thing here, and we're going to change fonts. So here in my font category, like all Office things, I can change the fonts. Let's say I want to just change the 2020 budget. Let's say I want to make it 18. I can either do 18, or I can use the increase and decrease buttons. So let's make it, say I didn't really want 18, and make it 20. Now it's going to increase it to 20. But let's say maybe I didn't really like the color it had. I didn't like the theme color. So let's change it to this color. You can go here to, it's going to be your font color section. You can either click the font right there, or you can go ahead and change it. Now we're also going to use the fill color button. So let's say I want to fill the color behind it. I'm going to use very light color to fill in. So now it's going to look a lot more professional by just filling it in. I can also make it's bold currently. I can make it bold. I can also make it have italic, or I can underline it. These are all things you can use in all parts of Office, but they help here in Excel for formatting. So let's say I want to apply this whole, let's say I want to make it 12 and not 10. And let's say I want to change the font here to, let's make it Times New Roman. So I can either just start typing Times New Roman, and then click on it, or I would have been able to scroll all the way down. So now this cell doesn't fit anymore, so let's just go ahead and expand this cell. Let's say if I didn't want to like manually expand it, I can click here, click column width, hit the 15. So that would get me my cell there to finally fit. So this is all things you can do here in Excel. Now this is going to be the first video. I'm going to show you many more things here in Excel. So this is going to be our first basic video. And I hope you liked it. And if you want to learn more about Excel, make sure you check out my following videos here. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. That way you know, hit the notification bell. That way you know when I post a new video that you can be the first one to see it. And that way you get content faster. So thanks for watching, and check out the rest of my videos.